Hey, well, welcome to the Dream Labs. Dr. Contrast live here. A lot of fun today, going back at it here, and I really appreciate the fact that those of you who were watching last week did a little landscape work, but I thought this time around we'd do a little bit of a different study here. A good friend of mine has a very interesting machine here. It's a 1931 Packard 840 sedan, and he doesn't know this yet, but I think we're going to surprise him with something here that for he and his family to enjoy. He just purchased this thing, and I found out about it, and I thought, well, I'm going to give it a good shot here, do a nice little rendering, but 11 by 17 size, and it was a lot of fun because it's a very complicated machine. It looked very straightforward. It's a box, literally, but it's a lot of little detail work that had to be taken care of here. So what I did in time for the stream today was to kind of jump ahead a little bit, do some detail work, and maybe spend some time today just finishing things up a little bit, putting some of the polishing, finishing touches on it for a little bit of time, temper highlight, some little wheel details, and some background work and some signage, etc. Give it more of a presence to kind of wrap it all up here. So as we go through this process, the line drawing was much more complicated than I thought it was going to be. It took a little bit of time to get that thing down and illustrate things properly. With especially the fender character, some of the lighting detail, obviously very elaborate, but nonetheless a neat little coupe, a very rare machine too as well. The 840 series, there are a lot of them, but this is more of a sedan type. And I think the formal battery that they gave it designation was a almost like a Fiat or a private touring car. So pretty interesting machine. He purchased it recently, and I think hopefully this will surprise him when it all comes together. So let's kind of get at it here. And the first thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of detail in these wheels and the wires, etc. And we'll start putting some graphics together on this guy. So let's kind of put this together here. Slow it all down. I try to keep it as best I can face up with the camera so there's no interferences here. It's a little fussy little stuff here. That's why I went ahead with the battle plan here, just kind of get things organized and take advantage of what time we had here. Make sure we do a nice job of putting some finishing touches on the actual spoke itself and the machine. So just a little bit of detail work, getting these wires to kind of function. So bear with me, might have to turn the page a little bit here to get some of the detail work in. Maybe not, hopefully. Very tedious. It's a lot of time spent prior to going on the air today with this machine. Just a lot of little delicate stuff, making sure the surfaces are right, getting into a lot of little things too, for example, door lines and cuts and details that were there. Pretty elaborate, obviously very elaborate automobile, but fun to deal with. It's kind of the spoke in place here. Get this come together here, nice and easy. I'm gonna take my time. Hopefully get some really good input. And let me, I have to rotate this just a little bit. I've got to get these wheels put in place. Pardon me as I do this. There you go. A little bit more. Always a very delicate part of an illustration or a process like this. I've always believed that when you finish up the wheels are the ones that really kind of settle the whole thing and give it the real character. The other machine's interesting, but the wires, if it's not done right, it'd be really touchy. So just bear with me here, folks. I'll do the best I can. I got to fill in the blanks, keep it nice and smooth to make it look believable. Lots of little bits and pieces. It's going to go around here. By the way, I'm working with a Winsor Newton fine line pen here. Really nice to work with. Very, very subtle. Same time, got a nice stuffed up, a bit more detail in this cap here. Very nice, nice pen that takes marker well. When you run a marker over the top, it doesn't bleed on you, so that's a nice little asset to have as well. So there we are. Let's get a little bit of that in here. Where am I here? Let's get that depth of it. This is the last little piece here. And I think we've got that front end. Once you put a little bit of marker to it, kind of gives it a nice little wireframe study to it. That's fun to do. Let's go back and get the rear section done here. Process. There we go. Yeah, it's got it pretty nicely here. Let's start with a little bit of detail there on that. And I think let's kind of take a peek at here, getting some of this flat wall, put in a little bit of content here, a bit of shadow in this thing. So it looks like it's a little bit more out of the light source. That helps. Gonna tone that back a bit. I'm gonna come back in too and put a little bit of work. Hey, Victoria, how are you? Nice to see you, Doctor. How's everything? Yeah, I just got this guy started here, Victoria. So pretty delicate little line drawing here. So it's just a lot of little fussy surface work, but nonetheless, it's kind of give a little bit of tint on this guy too. Yeah, Roaring Classic is right. Let's better put that together here. Interesting. That kind of helps fade a little bit. How you been, Victor? Good. The Phantom 2. I think it is. I'm not quite sure what the designation is. It's an 840 touring sedan, but boy, I tell you, really a neat little machine here. So I just thought I'd take a moment and to surprise this guy. I spent a lot of time doing the line drawing. I didn't want to waste a lot of time today on stream, but nonetheless, it's an old Packard 1931 840 touring sedan. So really cool. Nice, interesting piece. So. Good challenge because a lot of little fussy detail things that the lighting and the bumper graphics and getting the chrome down, the body graphics. It's basically a box. It's still a very classic piece. You're right there, Victoria. So part of me is I kind of rotate a little bit here and get some of this graphics in here. And I get this piece to function a little bit more clearly here. Put some more graphics in this, the real graphics here. So there we are. Yeah, I really appreciate you being on board today, Victoria. How have you been? Staying pretty healthy and well? Looking good? Always good to have you on board. Much inspiring, good impact, good feedback. Much appreciate you being here. Clean this up just a little bit more. We're going to spend a little more time doing some background work and some little detailing work here. It's also fun too to put a little bit more. It was a white vehicle, but it looked almost like a refrigerator. Oh geez, in the last few days, North Country got 20 inches, 50. Oh wow, unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Well, hope you're doing well. Just stay warm. That's really uncomfortable. So I have a white vehicle, but it looked a little bit too cosmetic or too antiseptic. It was white, so I put a little bit of warm tone, like a little bit of a sunset on it. So I'm going back in there and just add a little bit of more, just a touch more tone to it here. A little bit of pastel in there, just to kind of warm it up just a little more. There she is, just a touch more. That helps enormously. Just take some of the curse off of that being this very cosmetic, antiseptic looking vehicle. There we go. A little more tone to it. Character down through here. While I'm at it too, I'm going to go back in, get a little bit of this, and just kind of dust off. A little more touching these. Yeah, the tires. That's better. Yeah, it looks better. A little more authentic looking. Just got to pull those back. Well, there we are, and that's the vehicle coming together pretty nicely with a lot of detailing coming in yet. For example, a little bit of highlighting. You get some basic character down here. There's my brush. Oh, there it is. Let's kind of clean things up a little bit more. But it's been a real challenge here. I think I'm going to start looking at some of this background work here, how to put the composition together. So I think I'll start off with some interesting little conversation, like a ground plane of some sort, and get that established. Come back in and define it a little bit more. Steady as we go here. It's just little touches here and there. Hopefully, kind of warm it up a little bit more. Bit of a field stone effect here. Still on a melt. Let's hope it does. Let's see what happens with a little bit more. Let's get gray over the top of this, kind of tone it back a bit. Slightest beige here. Yeah, there we are. There we go. What do you think? We're coming together all right, do you think? So far, so good. Let's put a little line work in here, see if that'll help kind of clarify what we're after here. There we go. What do you think there? Everything's making sense? Parked on another artisan's work. Yay. Yeah, the ground helps, so it's not floating. Yeah, that really kind of settles it down for us, doesn't it, Darren? Very cool. What do you think, Victor? Is this making sense for us here? You hope? It's been a lot of fun. It's a very sensitive process to go through here. I want to make sure we just kind of slow it all down a little bit and give this thing some real merit. And once the details are put in together and all that, it should be kind of a lot of fun to deal with here. So all that to say, let's go back in and look at what we might over here. Now, let's do this. Let's go back in and pick up a little bit of this. That same warmth over here on this little signage piece. Let's see. It'll be a nice touch. Piece of craftsmanship part. Yeah, nice. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see if we can get this kind of a little bit of shadow in this guy here. Well, it tells where the light source is coming from. And it's a signature flag here. Let's kind of throw some things in here. The very lightest, I think, is, yeah. Number 5 gray here. This cap in place. Sorry, we get this guy back on screen. There we go. That's better. There we are. Get that all together. Let me just move this just a touch to get that side in. Pick up a little more detail in a moment here. Now it's getting pretty delicate now. Just got just a little bit of signage here. Hold it back just a bit more. Let's just put a shadow where the signage is going to be. That. In fact, they're really kind of a bold offset here. It's going to get this guy to know where the light source is coming from. And let's put just a little bit of highlight across the top of this guy. Here we go. Let's get this back on screen here. What do you think so far? They're making sense? Guess we're going to part that on. Yeah, there we go. That's that. Now let's see if we can come up here with this. Okay. Now this is going to be the delicate part here. I'm going to take a bit of a moment here just to kind of come back in. And we get a little bit of background and put a sky tone in it and reflect a little bit of color. And we'll be almost home with this thing. It's really been a lot of fun in terms of putting it all together here. So let's kind of delicately move together. I'm going to mix some pastel up here on this side. And we'll see what we come up with here. A bit of blue, deep purple, a little bit of a combination here. And just start dusting in some background color here. See what happens here. Let's put more direct stuff in here. So not too much in there. Just kind of draw the eye over to one side here. Still think the top part of the sign needs to be like copper green. Yeah, patina. Yeah, it could be kind of neat. Yeah, no, try that. Put a dark green. I've got one handy here, but we'll throw that on there. Let's see here. Now, more of this, just a touch more sky tone here. I've done a little bit more. There's sky comes together. Get that to kind of working in just a little bit. There it is. Let's see here. Dark green. This will work here. See what that looks like. Picture up. Yeah, it works pretty nicely. Just enough little dark green there. Get the job done. How about that? Yeah, you're the right call there, doctor. That's good. That's why you are the doc, huh? It's just, thanks very much, Victor. That's really kind of you to say so. Really appreciate that quite a bit. Now, let's have a little bit of fun with this now. Let's do this too. Let's go back in here. We've got that down. Let's have a little bit of atmosphere in this thing. A little bit of nice dark green black here. Get this guy to kind of pull in there for us, just to see what that might look like. Let's see. Let's get this guy up just a bit. All right. Got that. Let's see if we keep this guy as clean as we possibly can here. Yeah, let's see here. Let's come up with. All right, pardon me, I'm going to stand up for a moment here. A little bit of thrust in this thing. One more time. Pardon me here, Victor. And stand up, put a little bit of thrust behind this guy. All right, Victor, you're the judge. What do you think? What do you think? Healthy? No. Let's get this guy cleaned up a little bit here. Yeah, if I can, there it is. Well, what do you think, Chief? Making sense? And then pull that out of the, I think that's got some character to it. I hope that's just enough to kind of take it away from, but I think that was a great call, Victor. That put that patina green in there, that made a huge difference. So a nice call there, Doctor. Nice. Let me get some of this cleaned up here. And we're just gonna wrap up some things here. Let's see, let's get that out of the way here. Break back to highlight, back to highlight. A bit of that. Paper. Just a touch more of this, just to kind of that shadow in there, just a bit more. There you go. And a little bit more here. Tone works. And one more time, let's kind of go back and just get this guy. I don't want to overdo it here. I think we've got a pretty good case here. I think we got it there. You've been really helpful here. Let's see, let's clean that up. Let's get this up just a bit. And last but not least, let's see if we can kind of get some of this to kind of dust through a little bit more. All right, what do you think, Chief? Gonna call that home? Could be a trading card, model box art. Yeah, well, I think that's stuff. What I typically do here, Victor, is I finish this stuff up and I put it in file and I come back to it sometime in the future and really kind of utilize that as maybe as a base for doing something. Hit frame it, she's done. I think that's got it. I'm going to come back in, though. One thing I'm going to do here is come back in and a bit of detail in the grill, maybe a little hot spot in the actual tire itself. That might be kind of a nice little trick to kind of work with here. Just to kind of take it away from any black coal here, just enough to just a little bit of highlight right there. Kind of take me around the corner. And that should do it. Let me turn that just for a moment here and get the radius right. That's better. And to give a little bit more character to it, a little bit of where the light source is coming from. Let's take it right down there and right down there. And there she is. What do you think there, Chief? Got it? I'm going to come back in. I'm going to come back in here. Let's kind of see what it looks like without that mask on top of that. So I think I might just, for what it's worth, just a little bit sloppy in here. Just go back and clean it up just a bit. Same with this. There we are. There we are. Now, there should be a little bit of graphics on this thing. I'm back and do a little temper work, not to fuss things up, just a touch here. We'll go from there, and that should do it. Man, that was fun. Really appreciate you being on board here, Victor. Really helpful. Man, okay, I see that. Then you do it, then I can't see it. Well, you know what? Half of it's just crossing your fingers and hope it works. But I really sincerely mean this. Having you on board to talk about this stuff back and forth is a big help. Like I just said, that patina piece up on that little sheet metal poster, the entry piece, really helpful. That really made the big difference. That made such a cold back piece. Get a little more presence to it, so it really was helpful. And again, really appreciate you taking the time to be with it. I hope the snow was all ended up there and you guys are going to be okay. And I'm going to call that a wrap today, gang. I mean, that's just a really nice, a lot of fun. I'm glad. I regret a little bit having to do so much work ahead of time. But I don't want to spend a lot of time going back in and filling in the black and the dark areas and some of the high contrast. But really appreciate the fact that you're all together here, and especially for you, Victor. I hope you and your family are well up there in that snow country. You'll survive all right, and I can't thank you enough for being very nice to, yeah, you know what, much better. I think that swelling has gone down a little bit, still kind of touchy, but really, I was really terrified, Victor. I thought for sure I was going to break something, but thank God I never did. So I'm back in today kind of cranking at it, and this has really been an enjoyable piece, and I thank you for taking the time to be with me today. It's always a joy to have you on board. And with that thought, gang, I'll probably finish up some little graphics here before I get to finalize this and get to my friend for a gift. And I think you're right. I'm going to make this, how about a T-shirt? You think that would work on a T-shirt? I don't know. Might be too much information. But it could be a lot of fun to do. Oh, let's do this. Just before we let's get rid of this thing and see what that looks like. Just without that mask on. There you go. How about that? Yeah, very good. Let's give that a shot. Really, again, nice call here, Victor. So cool. But nonetheless, all the best to you, and I wish you all the very best in your family. Thanks for taking the time today. I'm going to detail it here. And what I'll do here, hey, if you don't mind, Victor, I don't think I have your contact information. If you don't mind, why don't you let me know what your cell phone number is. Got your, yeah, you definitely shall do. Let me know what your cell phone number is, and once I get this photographed, I'll send you an image of it and see what you think. So. I much appreciate it. I can be reached there at 614-336-1944. That's my cell number here in the office. So all the best to you, Victoria. Thanks again for tuning in. And I will say here, never forget to dare to be great. Never forget to remember that you guys are. All the best. Have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday, hopefully. Take care, and let's go get them. Thanks very much.